Hello and welcome to another update video about Harmony One, a cryptocurrency I love to talk about. It's one of my, at the moment, favorite cryptocurrencies anyway. It's a great project anyway, basically a completed Ethereum 2.0, and I'm so glad that it plays out as expected. And yeah, in my video this morning, I think it was this morning, UK time, I talked about Harmony One, I talked about price targets, talked about levels, and we talked about the 30-cent level as a psychological mark. So on the 30-cent level we did have some resistance, but we broke it, we retested it, which is fantastic. It looks like we're holding the 30-cent level, which is just amazing. So what's the next price target? And we talked about that as well in the previous video. I just want to remind you, I used the Fibonacci extension levels to work out that next price target, and that is the 1.272 extension level. So basically we're not far away from that. So you can see it on the left hand side here, it's roughly the 33-cent mark. So that is basically the next resistance level that we should see. That's the 1.272 extension level. But I think the next one we are going to go to is 40 cents. We are currently finding support here. So, I mean, I think we are going to retest here, maybe move sideways a little bit, test that 33-cent level, maybe bounce off there, just so that people get confirmation that this is actually a new support here, before we then continue to move to the 40-cent level. I did say in previous videos that I think a dollar, even 125 or 150 for this alt season is not unrealistic in my opinion. So yeah, I think we're going to continue our way to the upside. I think this is looking really strong, really good. It is of course getting overheated, certainly, but I think pretty certain that we haven't seen that peak yet. I mean, the alt season hasn't even really started yet. So if we take a look as well at that that cup and handle that we were forming here, and that neckline, and we talked about a target level for that, just for that as well. So taking here that, basically adding it to the breakout point, which was somewhere here, and that takes us, yeah, pretty much also to the something like the 38-cent level, depending on where you assume the breakout was. So if you say the breakout was actually up here where we really started shooting, then that would take us to the 40-cent level as well. I mean, all of these are not unrealistic price targets, price levels. What we need to be aware of is obviously that we're overextending away from that ascending trend line. Did that before, we pulled back in a sort of neutral way, you know, not really massively sell off or anything. It was sort of a sideways consolidation. We hit that trend line, we hit the 20-day moving average. There is always a risk when you move away from the 20-day moving average like this one, that you can fall quite far, and there will be some profit taking probably as well. But my view is, because we're in all-time high territory and this is clearly a trending cryptocurrency at the moment as well, people realize the potential. I think it's got good tokenomics as well. I mentioned that in the previous video as well. I think we're gonna go up further. Of course, I would personally, you know, before going in now and adding to my positions, I would wait for a retracement. But this can really, you know, this can get into the top 20 cryptos in my opinion. Yeah, we are here on the daily now, obviously overheated, so there will be some more retracement, as we maybe a bit like as we had here back in the middle of September, where we pulled back. I mean, that at some point probably needs to come if we are that overheated. Doesn't necessarily need to be to that degree. Could also be here like we did here when we were overheated, just a bit of a sideways consolidation, maybe slight move to the downside, maybe a bull flag. That is something just to be aware of. MACD, in my view, still has room to grow. I mean, we are quite high already, but we were much higher back here. That was in March, much higher. So there would still be a little bit of room to grow. What is certainly important to understand is that the MACD line here tried to cross below the indicator line, but then we are now moving away from it, accelerating away from it, which is good as well. So as soon as you start to see that turning around, you know, maybe like here, you know, the MACD is quite good for predicting that. So as soon as you see like the first lighter green color on the MACD histogram here, that is first heads up that things are changing. At the moment, things aren't changing yet, as it seems. On the daily, it's still looking like we're continuing to go up, but that's certainly, even in a short-term retracement guide, I would personally just hold through. I would wait until the alt season before I sell anything. This has much more potential to grow, in my personal opinion. Of course, as always, no financial advice. Here on the 4-hour chart, you can see maybe we're forming something like a bit like a bull flag now, you know, moved up, now we're moving sideways. Could also be a pennant. It looks a bit like a pennant here on the 4-hour chart, where you form here pretty much like a sort of a triangle, a little one. Could be a bullish pennant again. That would be bullish trend continuation pattern needed. Such a formation is needed in a for a consolidation, you know. So there you go. It could be something like that where we just continue to move into the apex. So maybe even in the next few hours we're going to see a breakout from here, and that could be either side, but it's holding strong at the moment. As I said, it's probably like the 33-cent level that we were going to approach first now, because it's the 1.618 extension level before we then continue to move to the 40 cents. That's pretty much my update. Just want to give you a quick update because it's going crazy today, very interesting, and a few people have asked actually for Harmony 1 update. So yeah, hopefully you liked that update. If you did, smash the like button and hit the like button as well, and hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.